Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet this super duper easy top. This is my Este top pattern. There will also be a written pattern available. Once it is ready to go, I will link it in the description down below. For those of you who do prefer a written pattern, obviously you would have seen it in the thumbnail picture, but I'm going to stand up and give you a little twirl and show you exactly what it looks like anyway. So here she is. It is a little cropped number. You can easily adjust the length and I will explain how to do that throughout this video. It then decreases up here to the neckline, sits high on the neck, and then if we turn around, that's where the beauty is. You can see that it is a little lace-up number at the back, and I am absolutely obsessed with how it has turned out. So if you are interested in making this top, please just keep on watching. Now, all you're going to need today is some yarn, of course. Today I am using Hobby's Panettone yarn. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up because this yarn is absolutely stunning. This is what the label looks like, but look at this yarn. It is absolutely beautiful. It's got some glitter through it. It's beautiful neutral tones. Obviously you can get this yarn in a range of different colors. This colorway is called Cognac if you are wanting to get this exact one, but there are a whole range of different colors if you're after something else. Otherwise, if you don't have access to this yarn or you don't want to use this yarn, you can just use a standard 100% 8-ply / DK weight cotton or a cotton blend, but as long as it's about an 8-ply or a DK weight, you should be totally fine. Now I will just quickly take you through the specs of this yarn. This yarn was very kindly gifted to me by Hobby, so I feel like it's only fair that I take you guys through the specs of the yarn. So this yarn is 87% cotton, 7% polyamide, and 6% metallic fiber. It is a lightweight number 3 yarn. This comes in 50 gram skeins and it calls for a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook or 4.5 millimeter knitting needles. You can find some more info on their website. I will link this yarn in the description down below if you do want to buy it or if you just want to suss it out. Okay, so now we've got all of that out of the way, you are going to also need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, a 4 millimeter crochet hook, some stitch markers, a darning needle, and that is it. This top is super duper easy. It works from the bottom up. The main stitch is single crochet, so all you're going to need to know is the single crochet and the chain stitch. That's literally it. I can't even remember if I even use a slip stitch in this pattern, but it is so easy. I promise you, even if you've probably never crocheted before, you will be able to make this top. Anyway, moving along, what we will first need to do is take our bust measurement. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right now. So we are just going to take a standard tape measure and we are going to pass it around the widest part of our chest. So just like so, we're just taking it across the largest part of our chest and measuring our busts. So because this top is open at the back, which I showed you before, we are going to need to take off 20 to 30 centimeters from our total bust measurement. So for instance, for example, my bust measurement is 90 centimeters. So I'm gonna take 20 to 30 centimeters off that and take that measurement down to 70 to 60, somewhere in between there, centimeters. And that is what will give us that opening at the back, and we will be able to lace our top up and it'll look really nice. Okay, so once you have got your yarn, your hooks, your stitch markers and your darning needle ready to go, let's jump into the pattern. So once you've taken your bust measurements and you've taken off 20 to 30 centimeters from that measurement, we are going to start our foundation chain. So of course, starting with a slip knot and popping that onto our hook. Let me just get the camera focused for you guys before we start doing anything crazy. And now what we're going to do is chain up as many stitches as it takes to achieve your desired width. So again, bust measurements minus 20 to 30 centimeters. So for me, I am going to be chaining up 101 stitches, and that will give me my preferred width. Okay, so here we are at the end of our foundation chain. What we want to do now is begin on row 1, and to do that we are going to be skipping that very first chain. So finding that very first chain from our hook and skipping that, we're going to be crocheting into that second chain from our hook, and we are going in with a single crochet. So inserting our hook into that second chain from our hook and completing a single crochet. Now what we want to do is complete one single crochet in every chain all the way across until we get to the end of our work. So I am going to do that now, and I will meet you back here at the end. Okay, here I am at the end of row 1. What we are doing now is chaining 1 and turning our work. And we're now going to be working back along this way for row 2. So now all we want to do is single crochet in every stitch all the way across, and we're going to complete as many rows as it takes for us to get our required length. So you're going to be measuring the length from the underarm to where you want your top to finish. So whether that is at your waist, at your hip, however long you want your top to be, by the time you've finished this panel, you should have reached the required length from your underarm to where you want your top to sit on your body. I will show you what I'm talking about once I have finished my panel, but we're now just going to keep repeating one single crochet in every stitch all the way to the end of the row, chain 1, turn your work, and keep working in rows until you have reached your desired length from your underarm or just under your underarm. We don't want it right up there, but from just under your underarm to where you want your top to sit on your body. Once I've finished my panel, I will come back here and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, here I am at the end of my panel. Sorry, I can't fit the entire thing in the frame all at once, but I'm sure you guys get the general idea of what it's looking like so far. So as I was saying earlier, you want this panel to measure from just under your underarm to where you want your top to finish on your body. So I do want my top to be cropped, but whether or not yours is cropped, that is totally up to you. But obviously if you wanted yours to be full length, you would just complete more rows until you have reached your desired length from just under the underarm to the hem of your top. Now what we want to do is fasten off our work. And just tie that off, make sure it's nice and secure. And we'll now be starting on this middle upper chest section. So the section that you see that goes in up the top, and then our neck will be up here. So what you want to do is find the very center of your work. So my panel has a total stitch count of 100 stitches. So I know that the 50 stitch mark is my center point. So go ahead now, find the center of your panel, and using a stitch marker, you just want to mark out where that center stitch is. Okay, so here I have marked the center of my panel, and the reason we did this is because it's going to make it easier when we mark out where we want our decreased upper chest section to begin. So now what you want to do is take your panel, hold it up to your body, up to your chest, remembering that this edge here should sit just under your underarm. And making sure that your stitch marker is in the center of your chest, you want to take another stitch marker and mark where you want your decrease section to start. So I would recommend it start a couple of centimeters in from, say, your armpit. You don't want it to start too far out because it will just be uncomfortable and it'll be in your way. So I say to leave a couple of centimeters in from your armpit and start it there. So again, taking another stitch marker and marking where you want that to be. I have already measured and I know that I want mine to start 27 centimeters in from the edge. So once you've marked one, you then want to go to the other side of your panel and make sure you're marking the exact same amount of stitches on both sides so it is nice and even. Take your stitch markers, go and do that, and then come back here. All right, so once you've done that, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. This middle stitch marker isn't really necessary right now. You can remove that now if you like. I am going to. That was just kind of a little guide to make sure we measured things nice and evenly. Now what we want to do is turn our work. So this is the end we just fastened off with. So we now want to flip our work, and we will now be working back along this way. And the reason we want to make sure we turn our work is so our stitch pattern stays the same as what it has been for the rest of our top. Okay, once you've done that, you want to take your hook and you're going to take your yarn, and once again, starting with a slip knot, we want to join our yarn into where our stitch marker is. So I recommend just joining it in before you remove your stitch marker, just in case you lose your spot. So just joining the yarn in like that. Once you've joined it in, you can remove that stitch marker. I'm just going to chain one from where we joined our yarn, and working into that same stitch, so working into the same stitch as we just joined our yarn into, we are going to complete a single crochet. So just one single crochet, just like that, and that will mark the first single crochet of this row. So now what we're going to do is complete one single crochet in every stitch until we reach our second marker. So until I get to this marker here. And you will notice here that I am crocheting over my end. You are welcome to leave your end out if you like and sew it in later, but I like to do things the easy way, so I'm just crocheting straight over the top of mine. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and complete one single crochet in every stitch until I reach that other stitch marker. Okay, so here I am at the end of that row. I have already crocheted into that stitch where my stitch marker is, so I can now remove that. We won't be needing that anymore. Now what we want to do is chain one and turn our work. We'll now begin our decrease rows, but we're only going to be decreasing at the beginning and end of every second row. And this will give us that nice decreased look, that tapering in that you see on the top. So what we're going to do is single crochet two together. So we're going to be completing a single crochet decrease. So going into that very first stitch, yarning over, pulling through, finding that second stitch, inserting our hook, yarning over, pulling through, yarning over, and then pulling through all 3 loops on our hook. And that is your first single crochet decrease. Now what you want to do is complete one single crochet in every stitch all the way across until you have only 2 stitches remaining, and we will be completing another decrease at the end of the row. Okay, so we're going to single crochet into every stitch until we only have 2 stitches remaining. Okay, so here I am at the end of the row. I'm just going to complete my last decrease. And we are now going to chain one and turn our work. Now what we want to do is complete 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way until the end of the row. So we're not going to be decreasing in this row. We're just completing 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way across. All right, once you're at the end of that row, we are again chaining 1 and turning our work, and now we will be completing another decrease row. So we are going to be completing a single crochet decrease at the very beginning. So again, single crochet 2 together. And then we're completing 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way across until we have 2 stitches remaining. All right, here I am with 2 stitches remaining. I'm just going to complete my last decrease, single crocheting 2 together. And again, we're chaining 1 and turning our work. Now we will be completing a no decrease row. So again, we are just single crocheting into every stitch all the way across. And you're just going to repeat this stitch pattern until you have reached your desired length of the top section of your top. So we are going to be completing a row with no decreases, followed by a row with the decreases at the beginning and end of the row, until you have completed enough rows that you are happy with the length of the top of your top. So for me, I want mine to sit up around my collarbone. So I'm going to continue working the no decrease, decrease, no decrease, decrease rows until my top is sitting at my collarbone. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but obviously once I have finished this section, I will come back and show you. So if you are a little bit unsure, just keep on watching and you will see what I'm talking about in the next section of the video. But if you are confident, again, you're just going to be completing those 2 alternating rows until you are happy with the length of the top of your top. Once you've done that, come back here and I will show you what's next. Okay, so now we have finished the main part of our top. The hardest parts are over. Now all we need to do is create the lacing that is going to be at the back of our top, and that's how we are going to do our top up and how it's going to stay on our body. So to give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like, sorry I can't fit this whole thing in frame, but hopefully you can get the general idea of what we're going for here. So this will be your top, so this is the back, okay? So we are going to create 2, I guess, long chains. Using the chain stitch, we're going to chain up a big long string, sorry, 2 big long strings. One will attach to this side here, one will attach to this side here, and then they will come down, crisscross at the back, or come straight down, however you want your top to look. I'm going to crisscross mine at the back, and then we're going to thread those 2 strings through our top like this, and then down the bottom here we will tie it in a bow and it will look really, really cute. So that is all there is left to do. Obviously I will need to go in and sew in these ends as well. But to create the lace up back for your top, like I said earlier, we are just going to be using the chain stitch. So really, really easy. I have decided to go down a hook size for this step, or a hook size and a half. So I was using a 5.5mm for my main top, but I've gone down to a 4mm for this part, just because I want the chain to be nice and tight. I don't want it to look wholly and loose. So I'm just going to start with a slip knot, and I'm just popping that onto my hook. And now what you want to do is take your top, so that top chest section, and we're just going to join our yarn into the far left or right, it doesn't matter which side you do first, stitch of the last row that we completed. So just joining that yarn in that stitch there, making sure it's nice and secure. And now we can begin chaining. So all you're going to do is start chaining as many chains as it takes for you to reach your desired length. Now, the good thing about this is you can try it on and kind of measure as you go without having to cut your yarn, and you can always just add on more or take some off if you need to. So that's the great thing about attaching it first and then chaining. So we're just going to keep chaining until we have reached our desired length, and then we're going to repeat this exact same process on the other side, so making sure that both chains are the same length, obviously. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead now and do that, and I will meet you back here for the finished result. Okay, so once you have finished chaining, you should be left with something that looks like this. So you've got your 2 individual chains. Now what you want to do is figure out exactly how you want to lace up the back of your top. You can do this however you like. I'm obviously just going to show you the way I'm doing it, but feel free to change this up if you prefer. So I am going to crisscross mine at the back like this. Then I'm going to bring it down, join it to the center of this panel here. And then we'll go down one more time and join it at the bottom. And then obviously the exact same with the other one. So it will look a little something like that. And then it will, of course, tie up down here at the bottom. So to make this easier, we want to take a darning needle, just a normal wool or darning needle, something with a big eye at the top, because obviously this is quite thick, so we need that to fit through. So you're going to take the end, and just as if you were threading yarn, you're just going to thread the end of your chain through that. Now I can't pull mine all the way through because I have tied it off here, so it is a little bit too big, but that's okay, it doesn't matter as long as it's on your needle somehow and you'll be able to pull it through. That's totally fine. What I'm going to do now is take my first lot of chain stitches and thread it through exactly how I just explained to you. So I am finding the top stitch of this corner here, and we're going to go in from behind and thread that through. Just like that. Now what you want to do is find the center of this panel here. So for me, I know that this panel is 44 stitches long. So I know that the 22 stitch mark is the center of this panel. So if you want yours to be like mine and you want it to sit in the middle, you want to find that center point of the panel. Okay, so for me, mine is row 22. So I'm just going to count and find the 22nd row. And then I'm going to thread through the end of that row, just like that. And now all we're going to do is come right down here to the bottom and do the exact same through that bottom corner stitch. Just like that. And now we can remove our needle, and we're going to repeat that exact same process with the other lot of chain stitches. Once you've done that, you can remove your needle because we are done. You can just have a little play with this and kind of even it up. It's probably easier to do it when it is on your body, if I'm honest, but I will just tie this up just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of exactly what it is going to look like. Now, to be honest, I probably did too many chains. This is probably quite a bit long, but at the end of the day, you would prefer it be too long than too short, because now at least I've got plenty of room to play with. And if you are making these to sell, like at summer markets or things like that, then it probably is best to leave a little bit of extra length, because then it is a little bit more adjustable with the sizing. So yeah, that's just something for you guys to think about. But yeah, I probably did do it a little bit long, if I'm honest. Anyway, guys, that is the finished top. I absolutely love it. It is so stunning. I'm just going to flip it over and I will show you what it looks like from the front. So cute, and how easy was that? Like, this is seriously the easiest top to make. I probably couldn't think of an easier top to make, and it's so cute for summer, so versatile, easily adjustable, as in you can easily make it in different sizes. You could easily change the length if you wanted it longer or shorter. You can change the look of it by lacing it up differently at the back. I absolutely love it. Perfect for summer. You could even wear this out with a nice pair of pants or a nice pair of shorts or a skirt. Well guys, that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this tutorial. If you did make this top, please don't forget to tag me in all your posts on social media. I absolutely love seeing all your makes. If you haven't already, I would love for you to come and join me in the Talk Yarny to Me Facebook group. There is a link in the description down below, so feel free to come and hang out with me there. And of course, I would love if you could subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so you will be notified of all my future videos. But until next time, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, be kind, and I will see you next time. Bye.